Hello, welcome to Light of Love Healer channel. My name is Jennifer, and this is for the Law of Healing series. This is the second part, conditioning and old beliefs, false beliefs. We will start with an example that I heard before that will open your eyes to truth. We have two girls. One is a positive girl that people would say lives in the clouds with rainbows and butterflies always on her mind, who is singing while she picks blueberries for her family to eat for breakfast. Then we have another girl that is negative. You can even call her pessimistic or even paranoid. She is always looking for the worst to happen so that she may be ready for anything that occurs. She too is in the same field picking blueberries for her family's breakfast as well. A line walks up between the two of them. Who do you think will get eaten? The positive girl, because she's singing and she's bringing attention to herself and she's not ready. The negative girl is ready for negative things to happen. Yes, the first one, who is positive, is the one that the lion will go for first because she is not paying attention and she is singing, bringing attention to herself. While the negative, excuse me, while the negative girl, who is always ready for anything to occur, is already out of there because, well, she was ready. This example is to show you how our ego is a very valuable component to us. Ego is for survival, not just for protection from death, but protection from harm. And it's not just harm to one's physical body, but emotional and mental too. It even gets deeper, though. It also protects us from financial and social downfalls as well. Many believe that we are to get rid of all negative thoughts, but as you see in this example, this can't be farther from the truth. The key is to balance both negative and positive aspects of anything. But this does not necessarily mean straight down the middle, but to judge each thing to see just where to draw that line, which does not always mean in the middle. And each situation always determines, and each situation is always determines just where that line should go. Use your discernment to determine to draw that line. Through ego, we are conditioned as human beings since the beginning of human existence. We've had to we had to conform to society's laws, rules, and expectations, which develop into false beliefs, not only as a whole to fit in with society, but as individuals as well. Let's say that I tried out for the basketball team, um, but was not picked to play for the team. Let's say this type of circumstance had occurred throughout my life. Therefore, I developed a belief that I never get picked. This would be an example of an individual false belief that I would start from experience this type of behavior that developed this belief. So, of course, believing that I never get picked would discourage me to even trying to compete in things. But let's say I didn't allow that. I mean, I didn't allow those negative thoughts to actually become a belief. So instead of giving up and not even trying to get picked, I go ahead and try out for the basketball team the next year and finally get picked to play for the basketball team. And while playing in a game, a skilled basketball coach sees me and sees the potential in me as a basketball player and comes to me after the game to ask me if I would like him or her to coach me, develop me into a great basketball player that goes on to the NBA. This is a good example of how this is a good, I mean, I'm sorry, this is a good example of how a false belief would affect my life in a great way. Excuse me. Now, as for society false beliefs, we have the fact that we are taught that we are to put others before self, or otherwise known as self-sacrifice. This is an this is no there is no such thing. I'm sorry. I lost my place. There is no such thing as self-sacrificing, because even if you are to pull this off, it's truly for self, either because you are doing it for another, or if you do it to show others how you are self sacrificing. It's all for self. To either get the feeling of doing for others, which is a form of connection of some sort, or get the praise of others for self sacrificing oneself. It's it is for self, also known as people pleasing. The truth is that if we continue this way, we will be left with nothing, left to give to even ourselves, which will end us up with not even enough to survive. And then we will end up having to rely on others to do the same for us, which is otherwise known as being codependent, on others, and in many cases ends up one another becoming codependent on each other. For this is defeating the purpose of the concept of self-sacrificing, because the self-sacrificing ends up being the person who needs others to self-sacrifice for them, which again is a conflict of interest, making the whole concept of self-sacrificing untrue and false. Now, I know this from experience. I do not teach anything I don't know from experience. I have gone through many trials, many tribulations, many lessons, and I hope y'all understood. I love you all, and take care. Much love and light. Later.